Hi, boys and girls. This is day number 4 of our having fun in art and with animals. And today we're going to talk about mountains and landscapes and what we could raise on a farm and some really fun things. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember, you can stop the tape if you need to, if you need more time. And also, I want you to remember that you can actually look at I have different websites and just different tips when you get the tape that you can go to and have even more fun. So we're going to start out and we're going to look at a very famous landscape called Landers Peak by the very, very famous artist Albert Beardstadt. And if you he did pictures of pristine America long ago at the time when Lewis and Clark were exploring, and his art is still popular, very popular today. And you might see a log cabin, and we're going to talk about that today in a landscape. Thomas Cole is another really well-known artist that did art, and we have a beautiful picture of a log cabin. And your great great grandma or long ago might have lived in a log cabin, something like this in the woods. And if you look very closely, way in the background, we can see the mountains. And in the foreground, we can see the log cabin. And we could see the daddy, and he might have been fishing. And we can see the mommy. And you know what? The mama has clothes hanging on the clothesline because I can remember when my mother absolutely loved hanging clothes on a clothesline. It smelled so good and fresh. Today we have dryers and we don't usually do that, but long ago they always did that after they would wash the clothes in the river. Now, did you know the story of Johnny Appleseed? This is a picture that was seen in Harper's Weekly all about Johnny Appleseed. And Harper's Weekly is a newspaper and it describes him as small and wiry. Are you small and wiry? Are you tall and slim? His name was really John Chapman, and he planted apple trees. That's what he really loved, to go around the country and plant apple trees with apple seeds. His nickname was Johnny Appleseed. And you might have a nickname too. And thanks to him, we have many apples, and you have candy apples, apple pie, I think there's even apple pudding. There's so many different ways, apple cider, that you can eat apples today. We're going to look at the color wheel and talk about colors today, and the color wheel rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And our first picture is going to be a landscape. And remember, a landscape is mainly a picture of the land and the sky. And we're going to do a landscape with a log cabin in it. And here's another picture of a landscape. Beardstadt did this, and as you can see the water, and you can see the beautiful mountains in the background. And it's the horizon line is the place where the sky and the land meet. And we'll look at Thomas Cole's log cabin once again. And here's our sample picture. We're going to do a log cabin today, and we're going to make our log cabin on a landscape. And what we want to do in the background, we can make mountains. We can put mountains in the background, and we can have a rainbow in the sky. But the first thing we're going to put on the picture, we're going to make a log cabin. And if I make a log cabin with you, these are different logs, and logs are first horizontal, and we're going to make a vertical. We're going to make a door in our cabin, and we're going to make 2 windows. So we're going to have our log cabin. Now, if you don't have the paper, you can actually draw the log cabin, and you can draw the log cabin by making lines that are horizontal. Remember, we talked about horizontal lines, and we talked about vertical lines stand straight and tall. Horizontal lines are flat, sort of like when you're sleeping, and diagonal lines is what our roof is made out of. So we have our log cabin, and we make it out of horizontal and diagonal lines. Now, the roof is diagonal lines, boys and girls, because of the rain. If you think about it, if it was a flat roof, it got a bad snowstorms and rain. They wanted it to roll off the roof, and that's why you see roofs that are just a little bit slanted. Now, we're going to make an apple tree together. And as I talked about in our live workshop, we're going to start and make a letter, a certain letter. And the letter that we're going to make is the letter Y. Now, I ask everybody, what letter is this? And you know what they said? They said that's a letter Y. And a letter Y is an easy way to start making a tree. If I make the letter Y smaller, make a bunch of Ys on my tree, it makes it very, very easy to make a Y tree. Now, if I use my oil pastels, what I can do is I can actually make apples with my oil pastels. And then I can either make my leaves, I can make my beautiful red apples on my tree. I might even make some apples that are on the ground, because if you shake an apple tree and it's really ready, the apples are going to fall to the ground. Now, here's my apple tree, and I might want to make an apple on the ground as well. Now, I think what I'm going to do next, you might have a little paper towel. Let's get our paper towel ready. Before we do this, I'm gonna show you something with the apple tree, but you should have a little log cabin, and you should have an apple tree, and you can actually take a paper towel and you can put it in water, and you can, or a sponge if you have a sponge, and you can actually make things look like they're actually really like a tree. And if I take it and put a paper towel or a sponge in water, and I have a little bit of green, instead of drawing my trees, I can just sort of dab them on, and I can just dab them on the green with my sponge. I can use my sponge on my grass and different things, and I can have the really pretty leaves of the tree. That's how artists do it sometimes. They use sponges, they use different things, but you can have the leaves of your tree like that with a sponge. And if you do it if you're using oil pastel, boys and girls, what you can do is you can color real dark, and then you can paint over it. And I want you to notice in this finished picture, we have the color wheel. We start with red, we go to orange, we go to yellow, we go to green, we go to blue, and we go to purple. And that is the colors of the color wheel. And we're learning lots and lots and lots about color today. And in this picture, I even put teepees far away in the mountains because things in the foreground are larger. Notice the large apple close to you. This is a lesson you can learn if you go outside of your house and your mommy or daddy stands right close to you, and they're big, they're right size. But if they go in a little bit of a distance, they look smaller. They're not really smaller, but they look smaller, and that is the background. So we have foreground and background. Now we're going to look at a pink flamingo. And remember, we talked about Audubon in our workshop yesterday. And today we get to see Audubon, who did Birds of America. We're going to get to look at his pink flamingo. And Audubon, in the way background, you can see in the distance small flamingos. So we have a flamingo in the foreground that is large, and a flamingo in the background that is small. The next picture we're going to look at is a beautiful cardinal bird. Cardinals are red and they're beautiful. And we're going to talk about the three primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. And we have a beautiful, beautiful cardinal in this picture. The next picture we're going to look at, we're going to learn how to draw a flamingo and a cardinal. Now, if you look really, really, really closely, we have our finished picture. We have our cardinal sitting on our pink flamingo. The sun is yellow, the water is blue, and the red bird or the cardinal is red. But you know what? Our flamingo is pink. When you mix red and white together, you get pink, and pink is a pastel color. And we're learning about colors today. So we're going to create that in our picture. And if you follow step by step, you start with a circle, and then you want to make a line for the neck. Remember, you could do this on light blue paper. We want to talk about red, yellow, and blue. And red, yellow, and blue are our primary colors. And we want to make vertical lines for the feet and the claws of our flamingo. And we want to put a beak on our flamingo. And we want to set our flamingo in the water with our little cardinal right on top. Our cardinal is made out of just triangles and ovals and circles. And do you know what? We can put a triangle on the top because the cardinal has a little triangle. It looks like a triangle on the top of his head. So our second picture that we're doing together is a picture of an adorable little cardinal and a flamingo. Now we're going to talk next. You can stop the tape here and you can do the picture. Now, I wanted to talk about a map and cartography because we do have, this is a map of Virginia, and you all are from Virginia, but this is a very, very, very old map. We look at a map today and it isn't artistic, but if we looked at a map 100 years ago, this is what a map might look like because it would have artwork right along with it. Now we're going to talk about a very famous farm picture, and this is called American Gothic by Grant Wood. And what is the man holding? The man is holding a pitchfork. And when you put something in the picture, like if you put a rake in the picture, maybe you would have a basket of eggs in the picture that the little farm lady was gathering eggs. It's called a prop, and a prop tells a story. This is a very famous farm picture. And here we have some very famous farm landscapes. Remember what a landscape is? Primarily a picture of the land and the sky. You could see pigs, you could see cows, you could see chickens, you could see rabbits on a farm, and you could sing the song. When my granddaughter was little, I would sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and we would make all the noises of all the animals, and it was so much fun. And when you get your tape, you'll have something you can click on and go to if you want to draw farm animals and make farm pictures. But we were going to talk about farm things that grow on the farm. And we talked about red, yellow, and blue. Now we talked about a landscape, and a still life is a grouping of inanimate objects. And that means objects that don't come to life. Now, most of you have probably seen Veggie Tales, and an artist was so creative, she brought these little vegetables to life. But we're just going to do a still life today. Of course, this is Melendez, and he has a background on there, the sky and the mountains, and peaches and watermelons in the picture. And so this is really neat fruit. And we're going to do a still life of fruits and vegetables that are red, yellow, and blue. And we're going to start out by making a pattern. A pattern, boys and girls, is a repeated design. So I want to make a tablecloth. So first I want to make my red stripes, and I'm going to show you my red stripes, lines that are horizontal. This is my tablecloth. And then I'm going to take my blue crayon or oil pastel, and I'm going to make vertical lines, lines that stand straight and tall. And this is part of my tablecloth pattern. And did you know that art, drawing and painting is art we look at, sculpture is art that we walk around, architecture is art we walk through, fashion is art that we wear, cars were designed by artists, fabric and tablecloth or artists that designed the beautiful tablecloths that your mom or your might actually have on her table. When you sit down for Thanksgiving, you might think about that. And I'm going to make a wiggly line that's yellow. So my tablecloth that I'm going to put my primary color fruits on is going to be the colors of red, yellow, and blue. A pattern is a repeated design. You might look around you and see if you see any patterns. You might have a pattern on your shirt. You might have a pattern on your shoes. I just don't know. But when you see a pattern, there's patterns on wallpaper. It's a design that repeats itself. Now let's think of the color red. First, we're going to do something that is in the color red. I'm going to make an apple. I want you to think of fruits and vegetables that are red, yellow, and blue. Now, I did my corn, and I have 3 items. I have red. Maybe I could do a tomato. Maybe there's a cherry tree on the farm. Maybe the farmer grows strawberries, or maybe you do. But I only want to pick things that are red, yellow, and blue. Many times people grow squash. You could put a yellow squash. You could put a yellow ear of corn, which is what I've done there. But what we want to do, we want to make at least three items that are red, yellow, and blue. And we could put green on there just like the stem of the apple, or, black and white. Those are neutral colors. And our last project we're going to do, now you can stop if you want to stop the PowerPoint, the presentation, if you want to work on this, maybe you want to do a really fun farm study, and you can actually do that. You can stop the presentation. We're going to go on right now, though, to teddy bears. And Albert Bierstadt did many beautiful animals as well. And this is Albert Bierstadt's pictures of the grizzly bear. And boy, I wonder if he got close to these bears to do this picture. And I want to tell you the wonderful story of the teddy bear. And this picture was seen in a newspaper because Clifford Berriman was a cartoonist, and he put this picture in the newspaper because Teddy Roosevelt was visiting actually Florida, and there was a forest fire, and the ranger wanted him to shoot the little baby bear. And it was all over the papers, and he said, no, he's holding his arm out. I'm not going to shoot the little bear. A toy maker, Morris Mitchum, saw this picture and had an idea. He thought that he would invent a teddy bear. And that's exactly what he did. And he made the first teddy bear. And if we do a teddy bear, we talked about how to do the teddy bear and doing the teddy bear from basic shapes, just like we've learned how to do all of our little bears. And you could make different kinds. We're going to come back to that. but here's a variety of bears. And today you can have a cook bear, or you can buy a teddy bear that's a fisherman in the stores, or just a teddy bear student. There's all kinds of fun teddy bears to do. And Morris Mitchum wrote, and here's a picture: teddy bears are there when you need them the most. And many people have very, very special, 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 special teddy bears. Now, Morris Mitchum, when he made the teddy bear, he wrote a letter. The story is he wrote a letter to Teddy Roosevelt. And he said, "Is it all right if I use your name for my new toy?" I'm just saying this sort of like that. And it said that he said that Morris Mitchum said, or Teddy Roosevelt said, "I don't think that my name is going to be worth much in the toy bear business, but you're welcome to use it." And so he did, and the rest is history. So we have our wonderful, wonderful teddy bears today. And you can have so much fun with teddy bears. You start with a circle and another circle and two vertical lines. Now, of course, you need the circles for the ears of the teddy bear. You can get some material and glue it on your teddy bear. Always use thick paper. You could maybe put real buttons on there and make a really, really, really special teddy bear. I always thought it would be fun to make a ballerina's teddy bear. I make my circle for my nose and my triangle and my letter C's on the back for the mouth. And I put the eyes on there. Mommy might let you, or Daddy might let you paint the teddy bear. I'm doing my arms of my teddy bear. You can make a teddy bear sitting down easily too. But you can decide to dress him up, put out whatever you want on your teddy bear. If I do my teddy bear, I sort of got the idea of making a girl teddy bear. So I thought that I would dress her up, and I could call her Gertrude. And it's lots of fun. I put a polka dot top on my teddy bear. I put a little necklace on my teddy bear. And I think I probably could make a really pretty, colorful bow. And I turned her into a girl with eyelashes. Now, if I put a bow underneath her neck, it would be a boy, and I could put a vest on him, and I could turn him into a really, really cute teddy bear. So as you do this picture, and I wanted to show you, well, I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be done for today. But tomorrow, I'm so excited. We're going to do pets and animals that you have all around your house. So I will see you then. And we're so thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming, and enjoy art. Have fun, and I'd love to hear from you. Bye.